GaeaSynergy can be licensed either on individual computers, a network, or a combination of both. When licensed on a network, the licensing is based on concurrent usage, where the number of concurrent users must be less than or equal to the maximum number of users licensed. This tutorial describes how to install and manage the licenses on a network. The topics covered in this tutorial are network installation and setup, client installation and setup, registration and licensing, and user management. For information on a topic, click on the topic. Otherwise, click End to go to the end of this tutorial. For more information, please contact us at sales@gaeatech.com or visit our website at www.gaeatech.com. There are 3 steps to installing and setting up GaeaSynergy on a network. First, the network service and monitor must be installed. Next, the service needs to be started. And then the databases and data store need to be set up on the server. To download and install the network service and monitor, use the link below. During the installation, the GaeaSynergy License Manager service and monitor are installed, and a shortcut for the license monitor will be created. Click Next to continue. To start the service, open Services, then select the GaeaSynergy 6 License Manager service and click on Start. When the application is managed on a network, the databases and data store for the application are also normally stored on the network server. To install the GaeaSynergy application on the server, use the link below. Click Next to continue. When the application is run the first time on the server, it will need to be set up. This will only happen the first time it is run. To begin, select Yes and then click Next. Then specify the name or IP address of the server. The port must be 3000. Make sure this port is open on the server. Next, enter the paths for the database and data store on the server. These paths should be accessible from the client computers. To use the application, all users must log in. Initially, until users have been assigned login accounts, the default administrative login can be used. The username is admin with a capital A, and the password is admin all in lowercase. It is important to make sure that the directories on the server where the database and data store are located are shared and have their file access permissions set to full control for everyone. Press the back button to continue this tutorial. The installation of GaeaSynergy on a client is the same as the server installation. The installation file can be downloaded using the link below. After the databases and data store have been installed on the server, it is important not to overwrite them each time GaeaSynergy is installed on a client computer. To do this, make sure you use the default database and data store directories on the local C drive during program installation. Click Next to continue. After the program has been installed on the client computer, the database and data store folders need to be set to the server. To do this, run the program and log in as an administrator. This option is not available to non-administrator users. Select File, then Preferences, and go to the Data Sources tab. On this tab, set the folder paths for the database and data store to the ones on the server. If the network option was not selected during the installation on the client computer, then it can be set in the preferences for the application by going to the Network tab. To get the licenses from the network, set Network to Yes, and enter the network name or IP address. The port number should always be 3000 for the network. Then select the modules that will be licensed from the network. Press the back button to continue this tutorial. The licensing of GaeaSynergy on a network is handled through a service called GaeaSynergy License Manager, and an application called GaeaSynergy, License Monitor. The service handles the logging in of users and grants license requests, and has no user interface. The Network Monitor provides a user interface for adding and removing users and managing licenses. When the Network License Monitor application is run, the License Monitor form is displayed. On the right side of the Network License Monitor form, a list of users that are currently logged into the program is displayed. And on the left side is a box displaying the network server name and port. These network properties are the ones required to be entered into the preferences of GaeaSynergy on client computers. Below the network properties box are buttons for managing licenses, managing users, showing the network log, and adjusting settings. Exiting the Network License Monitor will not stop the network service. To use GaeaSynergy on client computers, the modules must be licensed on the network. The modules will run in demo mode on the client computer until the network is licensed. It is not necessary to license all of the optional modules. Any modules that are not licensed will run in demo mode for a short period. To manage the licenses, click on the Manage Licenses button. The License Manager form will be displayed. On the left side of the form is a list showing the licensing of the modules. If the module is licensed, the licensed box will be checked, and the maximum number of users will be displayed. When a module is selected, the details for the license will be displayed in the box on the right side of the form. At the top of the form, there are buttons to purchase a license, register a license, export a serial number, import registration codes, add more users, update a license, and relock or transfer a license. These buttons will be enabled and disabled depending upon whether the selected module is licensed. Licenses for a module can be purchased by selecting the module and clicking on the Purchase button. The Purchase License form will then be displayed. This form shows the selected module and the serial number for the module. These serial numbers are unique for each server and module. Either perpetual or subscription licenses can be purchased. After the license type has been selected, click on the Purchase button to proceed with the purchase. A secure web page will then be opened in your browser where you can enter the purchase information. When the purchase has been completed, you will be provided by email with a unique order ID. Enter this ID on the form and click on the Register button to register the module. If the purchase or email is delayed, the license can be registered later as described next. After a license has been purchased and not yet registered, it can be registered by selecting the module on the License Manager form and clicking the Register button. The Register form will then be displayed. This form has two tabs, one for automatic registrations and one for manual registrations. If you purchase the license online and have an order ID, you can enter it on the Automatic tab to register the license. To manually register the license, contact Gaea with your invoice number and the unique serial number shown on the form. Gaea can be contacted either by clicking on the Obtain Unlock Code button or by emailing us at sales@gaeatech.com. When the Obtain Registration button is used, an email form will be displayed where you can enter your contact information and email it directly to Gaea. After you receive the registration code from Gaea, you can enter it on the form and then save it by clicking on the Store Unlock Code button. Press back to continue this tutorial. Prior to using GaeaSynergy on a client computer, a user must have a user account set up in the Network Monitor program. This user account is used to log in to the application on the client computer. To manage user accounts, click on the Manage Users button on the Network Monitor form. The Manage Users form displays the current user accounts and is used to add, edit, and remove user accounts. To add a user account, click on the Add button at the top of the form. The Add User form will be displayed. When user accounts are set up, they are assigned a username, password, and user type or privilege level. Different privilege levels are used to control access to functions of the program and data. The different user types are Administrator, Power User, Limited User, and Guest. Click the back button to continue this tutorial.